King Alcohol has many forms by which he catches man. He is a beast of many horns, and ever thus has been. For there's rum, and gin, and beer, and wine, and brandy of logwood hue, and hawk, and port, and flip, combined to make a man look blue. He says be merry, for his good sherry, and Tom and Jerry, champagne and Paris.
Hey, welcome back. Or not welcome back, sorry. I mean, it is back because we always do other shows. Welcome to the Blind Pig Confessions.
Pauly's lost.
Our podcast. Yeah, I'm always lost. No, I'm not lost. I'm in my own house. Huh? Well, I'm in my garage. You know, we're at the Blind Pig Garage. Doing the show.
Lost. Anyway.
I am not lost.
Another Blind Pig Garage show.
We gotta love
with
them.
Our friends from Wolfoose and Fast Cadillac.
Thanks for having us again.
Hey, Chris.
Just Chris. Chris is
It's like Cher.
He's like,
Chris.
I don't want to.
So last time we talked to Chris, he was gonna make a theme song. So how's the theme song going for us, Chris?
Oh yeah, we made a lot of progress.
Yeah.
Couple of oinks. We laid down some oink tracks. We're trying to find.
He's just a vocalist. He's the vocalist.
That's right.
He's got to find somebody to write.
ones
We
that
get
do
Donnie to write it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What kind of sounds do a blind pig make?
Oink, ouch, oink, ouch, oink, ouch.
I'm pretty sure it's the same.
Sorry, it's
guy,
more
but
like-
I was
yeah,
testing
It's
it.
periodically a squeal, right?
Yeah. Squeal,
Oh, yeah.
squeal,
Yeah.
squeal.
That was pretty good. I thought that
As
was a
you're running into
soundboard for a
shit.
second.
I did too.
Oh, yeah.
The squeal. I was like,
I've
what button's he pushing for that
Yeah.
one?
30 years of saving that up just for this moment.
You're gonna have to cut that one and put it on a button.
Yeah,
so
you
you
gotta
go.
keep that. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get a sound effects machine and be one of those guys that just oink.
Boing.
There.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You're listening to Larry in the morning. Oink.
The only one Donnie doesn't make it. That's
Ouch.
the only time we do that.
Oh yeah.
So last time we had an array of dark beers.
Actually,
We weren't
to,
even
to be
supposed to.
fair, last time we had we went from left to right.
Well, yeah,
on
we
the
did.
extremes.
Yeah.
We went from
Oh, yeah.
sour. We went from sours and pickles.
An unfortunate pickle beer.
Yeah. Which is
It was a needed hard switch though after
Yeah,
that pickle
yeah.
beer.
yeah. You
Yeah.
had to.
Yeah, it set the stage for the, was it the something frog?
Yeah, the Hopper Frog
Hop and
definitely.
Frog ones we
yeah.
had and
Yeah,
some
that
other
was
good
delicious.
stuff there.
That
so,
was a good one.
So
but
we're doing some IPAs
today, I
tonight?
think we're going to go a little. Well, we're going to go a little more middle of the road.
All right.
So,
all right.
I mean, I have an Adroit Theory, their Hellas Lager. So gotta love this. You know, Adroit Theory. This one is out of Orlando. This was This is this year, 4.8%er. So it's part of their Ghost series and all that. So, pass out some cups there, sir. And while I'm doing this, talk amongst yourselves.
Did you say out of Orlando?
It does say yes.
Really?
No.
This one, Adroit
brewed it with
Theory
somebody?
Brewing, Orlando, Florida, USA.
Wow. When did that
Did they
happen?
move?
They're out of that's
Where
odd.
were they out of before? Did they move to Orlando?
Like Virginia or something? That's odd.
All right. Well, I can't tell you there. It literally says it on the can.
Yeah.
No income tax there.
Ah.
True.
No, that's true. Yeah.
That is true.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Lots of COVID. Maybe no that's tax. part of the
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
I lived out there for a while. Yeah. For about 7 years till I moved back up here and joined the pigs.
That's
About
where everybody
two-
retires there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about an income tax or
Yeah.
anything.
It also sucks the soul out of you and just makes you want to die because it's a horrible, horrible fucking place.
My brother retired down there. He retired at 50.
Oh no!
Oh, it's a spill.
Spilled the whole
No, I didn't. I spilled one cup.
the whole cup.
Here, keep going.
Good thing that wasn't the Listerman. That would look like an oil spill.
No doubt. Good thing.
Too bad it wasn't the pickle beer.
You can clean up with the pickle beer.
Yeah, no, my brother retired. He had some health issues, but he retired 54. Moved to Florida.
Oh, good for him.
No, he's an
54.
asshole. He's retired at 54.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you, my dad retired. He was like 56. At the time I thought, oh, my dad's old. He's retiring.
Right.
Now I'm like, son of a bitch. God damn, he was young as shit.
He knew
Got
what
to
he was
retire and been fishing since he was 56 years old. Like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, my dad retired at 55 as well.
God.
So I don't,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen for me.
No, I didn't
Yeah.
do as well with the stocks and Procter and Gamble. So.
Yeah.
God,
No, I
damn.
mean it's just
Only one PG. You just invested in PG.
Well, that's where he worked. He didn't know anything about.
Oh,
He had no idea about any of that shit. But he had his stock with. He started working there when he was 18, and he's set. He's got nothing to worry about. So, It's great, but yeah, practically, well, that's when businesses still took care of you. You know, they had pensions and all that good stuff, long-term care, and they don't do that.
He
things
probably got
anymore.
some equity when he was there
Yeah,
too.
he's good.
That's a worth
Yeah,
a lot of money now.
He's yeah.
As long as he's not one of those people that say kids nowadays got it easy because
No.
we got to make our own retirements.
No. God damn, yeah. Anyway.
So we're talking about
yeah.
talking about how we're not going to retire.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got 20
Is there
years
something
left
you want
now,
to talk
son
about,
of a
Brendan?
bitch. No. No, I can't get it all out here.
That's what I went to school for. So if you need any help, let me know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk after.
Okay.
Pat, what are you doing over there?
I wish they had.
I'm
a
still
beer.
doing research because it's pissing me off because they are in. Adroit Theory says they're in Purcellville, Virginia.
Right? Purcellville, Virginia. There
But
you go.
the can says brewed and canned by Adroit Theory Brewing, Orlando, Florida, USA.
Maybe they opened up another place down there.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
it's not on the web.
Hmm.
It's not on the interwebs and the Google Bings.
I don't
You
know.
know, so.
Yeah, that's surprising. I don't know.
Yeah, that's very weird. So,
But
sip up and
so
tell me how it goes.
there's something different about this. You're looking at. You agree too. It's not your typical. At first, it was one of those things like, oh, that's odd, but I really, really like this beer. It just struck me because I was expecting a different, I think, a malt character or something. I don't know. There's something different about it. But I really, really like it. It's very light.
It's very good, especially when it's hot. It'd be great. It's weird how quick you taste it and then it just disappears.
Gone. Yeah.
I mean, it literally just disappears.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. To me, mine's lingering.
Really?
Oh, I'm getting the opposite.
Mine's lingering on my tongue a little bit. It's kind of
You're lingering
almost
on
like a Munich or some type of. I'm getting
Is yours
a lot of malt.
Is yours lingering all around the front of your tongue, or lingering on the back? Because
Yeah,
mine's
it's
all
kinda
around
like-
the front
Yeah.
of the tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting the lingering.
Mine just disappears.
Yeah.
We have had some big beers right before this, and we just
No,
ate
but
some
that's
spicy
what it did
chili.
to me.
but-
That's
yeah,
one
but
of
we
the
had
things I
spicy
noticed
chili.
with-
This should clear all that out.
I cracked one of these the first time I did. I had nothing else. I cracked. That was the first thing I did, and it was the same thing. It was odd. It was there and gone, and there was something different about the malt.
It's something.
There was something different, but I really, really enjoyed it. It's different,
I feel like
I
Hells
had
are
a
usually
slight
a lot
bitterness in
maltier.
there,
a little
too.
maltier. It's like it's not as bready, but it's still there.
It's
the-
really
that-
like a
that-
Kolsch to me. Like it's like that really just light, crisp, and then I don't know. There's just there's not a whole lot of depth at all. It's still great. It tastes great. It's just that's not
Different.
what I'm getting, but apparently Jaron is.
I'm even getting a little bitterness, I think, from probably some of the boil hops, too. I don't know. I got that a little bit in the middle, too.
I get a little.
I guess my palate's just more advanced.
Chris,
guys,
what are you
I'm
getting?
sorry.
It's here's my amateur stab at it. Super light. It feels like it sits up real high, and then I'm waiting for some of these heavier beers, and they sort of kind of there's a thickness that goes along with it on the tail end of your taste. This one just kind of dissipates.
Yeah, just gone. You
Well,
swallow it.
it's a boat beer. I mean, this
Oh,
is a summer.
yeah,
this is a
yeah.
straight up summer beer.
Yeah,
it's going to
definitely.
be a Hellas anyways. I mean, it's
But to a point to you guys of what you're saying, that's kind of what you want in this type of beer, right?
Yeah.
I have
you
no-
want that kind of
I have nothing
crispness.
negative to say about it. It's
Yeah,
just
definitely,
it
definitely.
goes away.
It's not a negative criticism. At
Yeah,
all.
Yeah.
it's just they're usually a little more breadier, and I like this
I think
a lot.
breadier
I really
is a
enjoyed
great
it.
way to put it. It's just usually it's a little more just like
Yeah,
something deeper there, but
the Hellas.
it's great.
It's
It
a
tastes great.
super light Hellas. I mean, it's
it's delicious.
it should be.
It is really
it
good.
should have a little more biscuit to it.
Yeah.
Typically, in the other in the other Hellas lagers you've had before, I've had. So that's where it's missing. It's there. The lingering is not lingering on the center of the tongue or the back. It's just there's a weird.
But if I was
there's a weird dryness on the front whole arch of my tongue, and then that's just kind of sitting
You
there.
could drink about 9
but
of
the
them.
flavor's
Oh,
gone
yeah.
after 2 seconds. It's all gone completely.
if I was at an Anthrax concert,
Yeah, that'd be
I
fun.
definitely want
Yeah,
to.
the graphics
easily
are appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no, Adroit Theory has great graphics. They're like 18th
Adroit,
Street.
yeah, and
stuff.
Anchorage always got great
Their
stuff.
artwork is spectacular, and then those are the ones I love seeing some of the artwork. Like this one, we might try later, but maybe not because they fooled me with the big box with the box in it, So, but hey, I mean, I guess that's why it cost more when I bought it, 'cause the box, I guess. So yeah, just oh well, But yeah, I like the artwork. I got a buddy who's got all the 18th Street. Like every 18th Street, he's pulled a label off, and his fridge is just covered in
man.
18th Street labels. And it just keeps getting around and around and around. I think he's got the whole thing almost completely covered because he likes the artwork off of those.
Yeah, they got amazing artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Some of their stuff gets a little too sweet for me, the 18th Street. But they got some great stouts and got some great beers. But some of their stuff is a little too sugary for that.
Yeah, but I think they're catering to some of the people around.
Yeah.
And some of the palates. So, it's...
I honestly haven't given it a shot in a while.
Oh, 18th Street, really?
They're pretty. They're pretty
off?
expensive. Yeah, I think it was like the Sex and Candy one. I just really wasn't a huge.
Yeah,
fan
that
of.
one was really sweet. I didn't care for that
and they were pretty expensive, so I was like, you know what, I'll just try.
Well, they got that brew house here now too.
Yeah,
in Indy. Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely down to try again.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I know they are well
they got
known.
some great stuff. That's for
northeast side of downtown, I think. Yeah, they got a full brew house now.
But if you're spending that money and you've already had some of their stuff, sometimes it's just time to go on. Move to another.
Exactly.
Unless it's some of our favorites, of course, that we have all the time that I just can't stop buying. But
I've always liked what I've gotten from them, but I feel like it does get a little repetitive.
Some of them
they do a lot, because they do a lot of good IPAs. But then after you've had so many good IPAs, it's kind of like,
yeah. I need to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
18th Street, that's in town here.
I thought they opened a new one in town.
There is one in town,
originally from Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, but they're from the region up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff, though. Very good beers.
Sex and Candy, huh?
A little sweet, but
like the Marcy Playground song.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, music and beer.
Music. There he goes.
And speaking, we've talked about just the flow with you guys on here. We've kind of talked a little bit off the show about doing some kind of repetitive topic shows, monthly or bi-monthly, and I think that'd be fun for all of us to do, and do if it's music and we were talking about the music and beer last time. Those are great topics and good beer topics, and we actually do a little investigating before we get here. We always do the get here and do the which are fun.
The beer research, but those are
more beer and music or whatever the topic may be. I think we obviously that there's floodgates go wide open when you're talking about music and but I think we can do a multitude of topics. But I think this would be a good panel to have a repeating.
Oh, definitely. Because I think you've got. I mean, we were talking a little offline. I mean, Chris being a vegan, me being meat eater. You're kind of middle of the road, and the Wolfoose boys. Well,
we just adapt.
Who knows? They
adapt to the
environment. Whole 31 months.
We don't know what the hell we're doing from one day to another.
whatever their wives say they can eat. They go.
We're followers.
So I think it'd be a good roundtable kind of discussion on that. Yeah. So I'd like to know because I think that's one aspect you kind of don't hear a lot on is the vegan side of. Is there anything in the beers that vegan couldn't have? I mean,
honey.
Possibly, yeah.
Honey?
Like the hardcore vegans,
honey,
don't do honey, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? That seems so.
Comes from animal.
You're taking the food from the bees.
Yeah.
But that's not really. They're not. Okay, whatever.
Well, it comes from the bees.
I'm just telling you what the argument is.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you what the argument is.
Chris, do you eat honey?
But you're not eating the bees.
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just one of those lines where I'm just like, I can't.
You're not you're not orthodox vegan?
Yeah, I'm not orthodox. I cut off I cut off my little vegan loops from over my ears. Yeah.
That's kosher, man.
Yeah.
There's like kosher vegan and orthodox vegans and
Again, yeah, health driven versus animal.
Right,
right.
Yeah.
I'm not. If I see a squirrel in the road, Jim or Donnie, I'm gonna hit him.
Yeah.
The honey thing, gets me because I'm like, that seems so different because it's just a byproduct of what they're doing. It's not really.
Right.
They're just.
Well, it's the same with cheese, right? You're not killing an animal for milk.
Right.
Right. So
But
yeah,
you're
that's
taking
the
that
part. I get I get like eggs or whatever. Well, that's technically.
I think Ryan's daughter was
That's
doing
technically a chicken nugget.
Yeah.
So it's just a pre-chicken nugget.
I think Abby was doing the vegan thing for a bit. I was getting fish. She's like, "Oh, I want some." I'm like,
So
"You're a vegan?" She goes, "Well, it's a fucking fish."
Then you're
Fish isn't real.
And you're a pescatarian.
yeah. So like, you're a pescatarian.
It's a fish.
I'm not. What are you talking about?
It's just a cow.
Yeah.
Exactly
Yeah.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
he doesn't need all that. He doesn't need all that meat on him. Come on.
I mean, the true basis of veganism came from not killing sentient animals.
and I
right?
get that.
Right,
Again,
yeah.
I don't really knock it. It's not my
Or
thing.
taking
and I
food
get
from them or
it's
whatever.
it's when it gets preachy.
Yeah.
And
Doesn't everything.
and just where they all of a sudden, and you're very so far very good about it. It's like, but it's when they get or if they're coming over to your house and they want you to cook them a vegan meal specifically. Oh, but don't use the pan you cooked meat in before. And I'm like, well, I don't have a pan that hasn't ever had meat in it before, you know. And when the minority becomes too vocal for the majority, it's like you got to give and take a little bit. It's the preachy ones that get me. Yeah. And but that's, I guess, in any industry. So you know,
to me that gets kind of a stretch. If you're like, oh, don't cook in the same pan. It's like, what?
I washed it.
Yeah. Like, oh well, I can
There's
take
not any like
you know,
leftover soul residue of this animal.
Yeah, they're like, but they're like, oh,
yeah.
I could, oh that or have you ever, as you went vegan? Because I hear this one a lot. It's like someone will realize they had something made and it's got like beef broth in it, and it just messes up their whole. They said, oh, now my system's all messed up, and oh my god, I could, oh the beef broth in there, it's just gonna make me vomit or whatever. Have you accidentally gotten some?
No, but my wife did. My wife did. She did. What? I don't remember what it was. I think it was.
Have you not seen any of those people? No. Really? Oh my god.
No, I think my wife did the like one of the kids, you know, back for the summer from college was there was a yogurt in there. I think she just wasn't paying attention. She pounded that bad boy down, and she did. You know, it was quite disruptive. Yeah.
For a yogurt, I can imagine because that's dairy. But I'm just talking like I've had some people. This was out in Arizona. And they were trying to be hardcore vegans, and which is weird because I'd known them for several years, and not 2 years ago they were down in frickin' McDonald's and shit. Now all of a sudden, you know, they're preachy vegans, and they got served some kind of soup that supposedly wasn't supposed to have anything in it and had beef broth in it. They found out, and then all of a sudden they were awfully sick. Right. You know, but to me, I think they were eventually just trying to get free food. But
possibly.
But
they probably should have handled that a different way.
Yeah, you know. So
they're like, hey, you just fed me this, and I told you I was this certain thing.
Yeah.
Listen, there's never been an easier time to be vegan, man. There's so many options out there. Everybody's accommodating.
Yeah, they're very to a point. Obviously, is what I'm saying. I mean, that's the pan stuff. You know, you're not going to go into a restaurant and say, hey, cook me with something with the vegan pan when you're at a Roost Chris or something. Right. Yeah. You have to put a little bit of.
I feel like there's got to be a fine line, right? Because like technically yeast is living while you're making your beer, right? So like that's where I don't understand where it's okay, well this is living thing technically is dying in the beer.
You know we're gonna have to edit all that out now because nobody thought of that before. They're like, oh,
great, thanks. Now we're gonna Now, I mean, originally it was just
technically any liquor.
Same with like insects. You can eat insects as a vegan. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, I was just talking about that with my wife. I don't know.
They have no soul.
I mean,
insects, I think according to the law,
because they don't have a soul.
Vegan law. I don't know.
They're not sentient.
Is that PETA? So there's like PETA vegans and
I call them militant vegans.
Yeah, the PETA people.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not. To me,
I'm just
no, I know. Unfortunately, I'm in a group. My wife hates the word vegan. She likes to just say plant-based because she doesn't want to be, but
one of those.
I didn't join any group. Let's just be very clear.
You didn't join another cult?
I just did what I'm doing for myself. That's it. No.
You just it's against the norm of what we're used to, and so people, I mean, it happens.
It's always scary to people when people commit to something they're not used to. That's just how the world is.
Chinese are eating dogs.
But it's a give and take as well for those people in that to not be preachy dickheads to the rest of everybody.
Let's be very clear. My friend Gary, he lives in Indianapolis. He's been a vegan for a long, long time, and I used to go to parties where I'm eating a big hamburger right in front of him, making fun. I used to make fun of him for being a vegan. Now, where do you get your protein, dude? Eat all that soy, you're gonna cry all the time. You're gonna get boobs. Shit like that. And he took it in stride. He was really cool about it. Then, of course, after I became vegan, then I just kind of looked at him and I was like, dude, fiber. And he was like, yeah, right? But it's like,
I'd have laughed if he turned around and just grabbed a big fucking cheeseburger.
Gotcha.
I've been lying all these years.
Gotcha. Do you eat this is what's the hamburgers now everyone's making those the weird McDonald's
the Impossible burgers?
Yeah, it's like wait, I don't get that because it doesn't taste anything like a fucking hamburger or anything like that. And if you're trying to get back, it doesn't taste like that. So I don't even know why you would eat it. Because most people I know that eat those still eat meat, but then they talk about eating vegan burgers or.
Well, we were talking about that I think a little earlier. There's the Impossible Burger versus the Beyond Meats because there's the lab grown meat ones where you don't need cows, which that freaks me out because I'm all I picture is a petri dish with a big blob of shit that just keeps growing, and then you're just form that into a patty and send that.
And they're like,
stick that on the grill. Yay, that looks beautiful. And then the Impossible, which is just. I mean, there have been plant-based burgers forever. I've never tried one of the Impossible ones.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of them.
They're really good.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
My nephew said they taste like cardboard.
I thought it tasted like
your
Jimmie
nephew
Dean breakfast
hasn't
sausage.
had an Impossible Burger because they do not taste like cardboard.
He had the Burger King one.
I thought it was really good.
He had the Burger King one. He said it tastes like cardboard.
The first versions of the Beyond Burger had a weird aftertaste. But then they've done like a 2.0.
The Beyond Burger or the Impossible? Which one's the
Beyond
plant?
had an after. They're both the same.
Both of those are plant.
Oh, which is the one that's the lab-grown meat one? What's that called?
I don't think they have that commercial yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's just in the works.
They're doing it, but
because they want to make.
It's under the brand Soylent Green.
I was going to say Soylent Green. Yeah, it's like I think somebody was lying to you when they sold you.
No, but yeah, back to the Impossible. I mean, I've only had it a handful of times, but the first time I had it on a burger, I honestly thought for me, it tasted like a Jimmie Dean breakfast sausage. And I mean, I was super into it.
You'd actually get it just to get it.
But like we were talking about before the show, I mean, I just wanted to try it.
Yeah.
It's no better for you.
Right.
No,
they try to emulate the same qualities.
They're adding
of beef.
fat in it. They're adding
and the calorie wise, it's almost
like
like everything's almost the exact.
They're trying to make it just like.
Oh, are they really? It's all kinds of.
Yeah, it's not. You're not going to get
more environmental
healthy.
than anything else.
Right. Yeah.
For the Impossible.
What fat are they adding to it then? If
probably vegetable
all plant based.
Just like
Well, the reason it tastes like
margarine
meat
is basically they're just adding within the meat.
The reason it tastes like meat is they like extract hemo, which tastes like blood from a plant, and then they add that to it, and that's what gives it the meat taste.
Okay.
I don't know what plant it is, but they found like hemo.
I was never really worried about that. Like I've had the plant burgers, or whatever, black bean burger, whatever. I'll buy those at.
Oh, the Morning Stars. The Morning Star black bean burgers are my favorite.
I think they're actually they're really good. So I've never worried about that kind of thing, having to taste like meat. That part's never really bothered me. So I mean, but yeah, I haven't tried it. I thought it was health. I mean, they market it like it's somehow healthier though.
It's environmental, is what they push.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything that's packaged like that or processed is going to have added sodium and fat and things.
Yeah,
it's not going to be ideal for you.
Yeah. Still seems off. Then
That's why it probably tastes so good. Is because it's still
food.
So damn bad for you.
It's processed. Yeah, it's still so processed. Yeah.
But it's not meat. And if you are on the run, I mean, how many years ago you couldn't get anything if you were traveling. How hard was it to find something? Now you can. Hey, you can go into Burger King or McDonald's and get something that is. At least you have that option now that you didn't have before. It doesn't have to be good for you. That's not why you're eating it. You're doing it because you don't want to eat meat. And now you have an option to stop somewhere if you're traveling. And
I like to go in and order one with bacon and cheese on it. Just to watch somebody's head explode. Can I have the vegan burger with bacon and cheese, please?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, beer drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah?
101.
I don't know. Where do you want to go to next? No.
Did you see what he
pulled?
pulled?
Anchorage, man.
Yeah.
Anchorage. Cha-ching.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, we do that. Speaking of food,
somehow Anchorage makes me happy. I don't know why.
You're 1 for 1 so far.
Does Indiana still have the rule where like you have to serve some kind of food?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Even in a tap room or anything, whether it be like chips or something like that,
or have the option to cater it in.
Yeah, it has to be available. You have to be make it
or you
available.
have to be allowed to bring food in.
Yep.
Yeah.
If they don't specifically serve it, they I think also like have to. What is it? You have to be able to bring it in at least. Yeah.
Yep.
I think you have to
DoorDash
serve something.
Okay.
At some point because you have to be considered a
restaurant.
restaurant.
Well, because like Triton Tap and Broderpool well, that used to be there. It's not that anymore. They never had anything, but you could walk in with any other food from the area, and that was.
Well, I think like for example, there was that Upland on 96th Street. I think it was called Upland or it was Sun King. Either or, they would sell like $10 Hot Pockets. So nobody would buy it.
Right.
But they'd have it on their menu, and then they'd allow anybody else to bring
it. It is
food
still a
from
thing
the
with some weird
area,
caveats.
You know?
Yeah.
I think they technically have, in Indiana, it's like a bar restaurant kind of thing. You can't just be a tap, like you have to have served food in some.
Somehow it had to be make it available. You didn't have to have it.
I think even if like chips is a way you can easily get away with it, is just sell chips or something.
Okay.
Oh, that's true. Like there's a place in Rochester that
like
does
beer over on was it 70 something? near Aliceville.
Yeah.
They just serve some chips and some dips. Or
Yeah,
something.
they've got some jerky and some things like that. I wasn't sure if that was still required in town or not because as I was doing some prohibition,
I think that's pretty much.
I don't think any of the.
I was doing some, some poking around and going down the prohibition,
That's a change.
black holes and of information and trying to do some research on some things. And they used to that idea of having to serve food came actually pre-prohibition.
Pre-prohibition
in New York, yeah. So there was an article, How New Yorkers Dodge Pre-Prohibition Drinking Laws by Inventing the World's Worst Sandwich. So some of the pre-prohibition laws before, when they were trying to do all the temperance stuff, before local, before national and everything started to come up, they started throwing down rules that you had to serve some kind of food, and they were doing it mainly to. And it could only, and then the Sunday laws came in and all kinds of other weird things like that. And it ended up being more about the rich people trying to force temperance on the poorer people because the rich people could afford to buy food when they went out drinking and stuff. And so you had to, and they could afford to go to places that could afford to provide food. So they wrote the law, though, so at least in New York, and they may have fixed it later on, but they wrote the law so much that it ended up being all these bars would basically just have one sandwich that they would make. And to the point of the sandwich in this case, one that a lot of them did was literally they put a brick between two pieces of bread. And when you ordered your beer, because you had to order food with your beer, but nothing in the law said you had to eat it. And so they would just literally take this brick between two pieces of bread, put it on your table with your beer, and then take it to the next table for that guy that ordered it. Or if they didn't do that, it was like a mold. They'd make one sandwich that they'd leave for the whole week, and they'd literally just keep bringing the one sandwich to the whole table. But I was reading some because we'd looked at the laws and stuff. Some of our weird, stupid laws of food and Sunday and all that. And I thought that one was really weird that it came up. And I think they what did they call it? They called it the Reigns sandwich. And it literally that's how they've been trying to get around stupid temperance laws for years because.
But it flies in the face of the underlying premise of the temperance movement, which was to. That these men were going to bars and spending all their money. So making a law that required them to buy food as well sort of only added to that.
And I'm trying to remember what the rest of the part on the Sunday part was, too, because Sunday was also the only day that the poor men really had off to go drink and stuff. And so it was another example of the howdy towdies. Trying to push laws on the lower class because they can't control themselves and they're just degenerate drinkers and gamblers and and all that stuff. And I found that kind of interesting. And as we were kind of talking about food and beer and all that, so I thought I'd bring a little prohibition stuff into it.
Why a brick?
Couldn't think of something smaller than a brick.
Maybe it wasn't. I'm sure it wasn't a big.
I hate to be that.
It probably wasn't a big brick. But I hate to be the guy who's not paying attention to the sandwich and really is fucking hungry, I guess. Hey, can you not bring me
It was
that
probably
sandwich?
a vegan burger. That's what it was.
early vegan food.
Yeah.
Well, I wish I would have known that Sunday story earlier on, or I would have been proactive trying to get that changed earlier.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Luckily, it has changed for Indiana.
Finally.
Still with
Conditions.
conditions.
Yeah, and then this stuff had its roots in with good old Teddy Roosevelt
Yeah,
which is kind of strange because he seems to me like a drink. I don't know.
Well,
the whole
guys are
temperance
drinkers.
movement, and the legislating of morality to the poorer classes always just rub me the fucking wrong way. Anyways, I mean it rubs me the wrong way when they do it anyways. When the fake laws and the bullshit laws that are obviously clearly. Yeah, sorry, getting off on my high horse.
No.
Anger.
We'll keep that for one of our reading topics.
Who was the tycoon, the Carnegie? Not the one who wrote the book, but the other one, the actual guy who made money.
Walter. Walter Carnegie? No.
But I remember hearing a story about him talking about how he justified not paying his employees money. It was because I'm gonna take this money and open libraries and things like this, and I'm gonna do valiant things with this money because if I gave it to you, you would just waste it on booze and cigarettes.
But you're not going to let me into your fucking libraries that you just built.
What an asshole.
But that's been the elite ruling class for years. The elite ruling class trying to legislate.
What an asshole.
The shit that they do already.
That's why I always giggle when
out
people
proud.
still now talk about our founders would be rolling in their graves. I'm like, they were elitists and aristocrats. Just it's like it's always been the same.
Wait,
way.
is that what the poor's not trying to do now with the elite? Is get them to spend the money on on us now?
Yeah.
Okay, I just think that's funny. I think that's funny how that works. Not saying it's not justified. We don't need to go there, but it's funny how things turn around like that.
So what did we pour? What did we pour?
Anchorage.
Well, yes, I get that.
It is.
And Logan, this is my third Anchorage.
This is India. It's Indy Pale
It's
Ale.
only like my fourth, so I'm
Hey,
not
Brandon.
much. I'm not in the cult.
Right behind you.
Not yet.
Brandon, read my can. Take a look at my can.
I'm looking. It's
What is it?
Your can really looks nice and
Citra hops
Brandon's
and
hand.
Phantasm powder.
That's a nice.
That's
I
what
love
it
the
is.
artwork.
It's the Phantasm.
Yeah.
Something's.
Is that a
So
is that a hop?
6.4.
I'm not. It's some kind of powder. I think it's based on hops. I had researched it one time because I had heard about it, but I totally forget what
Phantasm.
it
I've
is.
seen that before. Yeah, something
What's it
else
called? Phantasm powder
had powder.
is in the beer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, never heard of that one.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would say this
sounds
is
like
definitely.
sounds like another
It's
word.
made
sounds
from
like another word
grapes.
for Coke, but hey, I
Phantasm
sprinkled a little
powder.
Phantasm powder in my beer. Hey, all right, that's pre-prohibition.
It's another one with kick-ass artwork on it, man.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
It's a powder
cool as
made
shit.
from Sauv Blanc grapes, and then it creates aromas of citrus, guava, and passion fruit.
That makes sense.
But I feel like it's kind of making it extra dry at the end. Are you guys kind of getting that?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's got to be the Phantasm powder.
Sauvignon Blancs are kind of known for being a little more crisp in taste,
Yep.
so that could make sense.
That's a weird way. That's a weird way to get the notes you're looking for out of it, though, is to throw a grape in it to grab a mango, guava, whatever. That's because I haven't been a wine guy for a long time. I used to know more about it, but my taste always leaned to reds and Chilean reds and some other things. But I wasn't big on the Sauvignons and the Blanc, or Sauvignon Blancs or anything like that.
The only thing that
seems
stinks-
a weird way to do it.
The only thing that sucks with Anchorage, for the guy who has to, trying to take photos and stuff of the beers and post them, because they have such awesome artwork, but it always wraps, so you can't really get. You can't see it unless you gotta go out. You gotta go out and buy it. You gotta get
so
the
if you
stuff.
have so if you use your iPhone instead,
I could do that, but that would take time. And
no, you literally just do a panorama, but instead of actually moving your phone across, you just
Spin the beer.
rotate the beer. I'm thinking that would work
Time for
too.
You're right.
I'd take another.
I don't know if
hand
your phone, your non-iPhone does that, but whatever.
It does.
You got to hire an
I
assistant.
was gonna say I need it.
Brandon,
I need
yeah.
some. Yeah.
Just ask Aubrey to do it.
She's
She'll sit there and rotate that can.
Maybe put a little cleavage in there too,
Yeah.
so that'll get the hits.
yeah.
That'll get you the likes.
It's like right there. Just put it right there and have her rotate it.
Spin.
What sound would it make?
Squeak, squeak.
It's okay. This one's
It's
not my favorite
definitely
by
not
Anchorage.
It's
It's-
definitely not
it's
as
gotta-
bold as their
I've
other
never
ones, I feel
heard
like,
that
in
any
the
of them
past.
say Anchorage is okay. So
Yeah.
This is
Me
the first
neither.
one I've ever.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, it's.
Again, we don't.
it's just
I don't typically buy the IPAs, but I think it's. I think it's still very good.
I think this is honestly, it's going towards novelty space with Phantasm, because I was just reading on it. It's really hard to get because it's only out of like New Zealand. So I think the fact it's really hard to get, and then they have it in Alaska, and then they already make good IPAs. It honestly is like a replacement for some kind of hops, where you can like add it and it gives you those citrus notes. So I feel like it's almost going novelty because it's not.
I could
bad,
be.
but it's
well, I know, and I could be being again biased because I'm expecting so much from Anchorage all the time because everything just blows us away.
Yeah, I think you're being biased.
If this was somebody else, I opened it and drank it, probably like, oh, this is really good beer. But it's Anchorage. I'm always expecting.
I think it's
Their dry hops are usually very intense.
I think it's a great. I mean, I'm still getting
good
it
beer.
as
Not
even
my
on
favorite
the
from Anchorage.
several exhales afterwards. This actually tastes better a little bit warm too, not super ice cold, or anything. I'm surprised on it because it's an IPA, and that's usually not my thing. I get the grapes.
I mean, I'm still drinking.
I get all the fruit notes without, I think, a heavy dry hop on it.
Yep.
So I don't know. We're of all different minds on this one.
You know what?
Yeah,
They've
I
probably
think it's
done what
pretty
they were
good.
set out for, is have people just talk about it.
Yeah,
So
that's right. That's what beer's.
Yeah.
That's what beer's for.
That's what it's for.
hey,
That's what beer, food, music.
that's what we're doing.
That's what these things are for.
That's right.
That the stupid fucking temperance people decide all just wanted to tamp
right.
down and do nothing with it. Sorry, you had me doing a whole lot of prohibition research, this week because you wanted to do more prohibition stuff, and it just got
Big old
down.
smile on his
I got
face.
down into the goddamn prohibition hole, and I'm just like, God damn, I'm glad I didn't live back in the 20s
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'd have been pissed or a gangster.
I vote for gangster.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, no, but I
definitely.
mean, it amazes me the hubris of these fuckers in the world that just. I don't know. I mean, does it anger you? I mean, even today, it's not even about prohibition. If you've researched or watched any of these, does it?
Well,
not,
yeah, it always does.
Does it not anger you that
But-
these people in their
But
their
50
yeah,
years from now,
hubris
they're
is the only
going
word
to
I
be
can
saying
think of
that
right
about
now.
this
yeah.
time, and you're like,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
they had it bad. I think we're always evolving and always, hopefully making things better. I think you'll look back and
Yeah, but that time
Yeah, I agree
seemed
with that.
really freaking even worse as far as just general freedoms and trying to legislate morality. And legislate things that are just seemed
we're
out of
losing
the realm
freedoms.
of throwing too much, throwing religion at everything and a very
now we throw
pro-
politics at everything.
right,
So now
which
it
is
used
bad.
To be, and it is,
I agree,
I used to
but
be,
we had a good space there
yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
A good 50 years or so, where things were okie dokie for a bit, and then ish, but it just
But we're seeing a repeat of almost the exact playbook that overturned prohibition, but in a very short span, because prohibition was 13 years, and then
Yeah.
but then the marijuana is following the same playbook,
Yeah.
because if you recall, towards the end of prohibition or maybe early on in prohibition, they the doctors were starting to get in cahoots with people writing prescriptions for
Yep.
for alcoholic whatever tonic, and they flavored them to taste like medicines to justify the alcohol so people could
Did you
drink.
ever see the grape bricks that they'd sell? It was basically a brick of grapes and
With instructions on
with
how
instructions
not to
on
turn it
yeah,
into
do
wine,
not
right?
do
do not
this.
put this in an
Yeah.
open container. Do not add sugar to this, and do not leave it in a warm area for a
Right.
few weeks.
I just remember, being like, I may or may not have smoked marijuana as a teenager, and I may or may not have purchased a High Times magazine and read an article about some guy who started some organization called Normal back then. This was like the 80s, right? And he was like, yeah, someday we're going to legalize. And I was just like, good
Yeah,
luck with
yeah,
that. That's
yeah, right.
never going to happen in my lifetime. But now I literally see the playbook, although it's taken way longer versus prohibition, which happened quickly and overturned quickly.
The only bad part or maybe it's the part that makes me bummed is the reason for it though still is money. The old cronies in charge realized, oh shit, we can make money off of this. We need to just stop, tamping it down. We'll just make it legal. We'll tax it. We'll do. Money seems to have been what's changed
Sure,
the minds,
absolutely.
not the fact that what you were doing was stupid in the first place and why you did it in the first place, which was, the hemp business. For this particular time we're doing,
Are
the
you
paper
insinuating
company-
that people's morals could be influenced by the amount of money they get paid? What?
Yeah.
Crazy
No,
talk.
come
No,
on.
what I mean is, I always wish.
I'll edit that out,
I'm
don't
always
worry.
of the hopefulness
crazy.
that policy and process will change due to people's actual morals, and those things, not money making their morals change. But it never
It always
happens, so
has.
it kind of sucks. But it's going to be legal the moment they can make a breathalyzer test to tell and establish a blood alcohol content like you do for alcohol. Once they can do that and say, okay, you're high right now because you're over this amount, it will be legal everywhere. The moment they can do that, right now, because they don't have a breathalyzer that can tell whether or not you're high right now or you smoked weed 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So once they do that, I guarantee you it'll all change because, again, money. which is unfortunate.
I don't know if
It's-
illegally
it's-
be able to find a way to do that.
And it's changing now. Before it's
Scientifically, I think it's a hard one.
Well, it's because like usually it's going to have to do with your blood, something with your blood, and you can't be taking blood on the side of the road no matter what. Because what if someone's hematomic or whatever?
Yeah.
Bleeds a lot.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, your lawsuit's out the ass.
I agree completely. That's the hard part.
And
But
not everybody smokes it anymore. Now that you got all the edibles out there nowadays. And
Exactly. But eventually they'll come up with something that's just a little, or who knows. But eventually they might. It's who knows. But I think what I was saying is once they can come up with that and they can monetize the enforcement of breaking some law, some set limit like they've done for alcohol over the years, I guarantee you nationally it'll go in a heartbeat.
And our phones will narc on us.
Of course.
At 11:59, he said, "Dude, I know you're smoking weed."
The Google AI is going to know where everybody's high. It could be like, what if D-O-G really spelled cat?
I always wonder why they just don't install all of those breathalyzer tests into your car.
They're actually talking about that.
Yeah,
now.
they
They actually
Why
are.
not?
I mean, how easy would that be?
They They actually are discussing that as being.
Then you would know.
The new
You'd be like,
seatbelt.
right.
Yeah.
It
I'll
would
go
be-
get a Lyft, an Uber, a taxi, or
Yep,
something.
Yeah.
They are talking about it. I saw something just a few weeks ago about that, where they're looking at that. It'll be interesting. So,
I mean, hell, backup cams used to be thousands of dollars. Now they're installed in the basic model packages of all cars now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mean again. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I wouldn't.
what, the breathalyzer in the car thing?
Why
Yeah,
not? I would- I mean-
that makes sense. But they'd have to still keep like Uber and taxis around. But they
Well, yeah. Well, that
Aggressively
that
keep trying to
business would
get-
just
yeah.
get that much
they'd
bigger.
have
I
to
mean,
they'd have to regulate Uber and Lyft a lot better than they do now.
Right.
Currently.
Well, their cars would have all the breathalyzer tests.
I would hope so. I still find it funny that 30 years ago, growing up, or even more, 30, 40 years ago, growing up, it was don't get into cars with strangers. Now I have an app on my phone that calls strangers to my
To your
house so I can
door.
get in their car.
you guys have trunk or treat
With your
here,
picture.
which is bizarre.
I've never heard of trunk or treat until I moved back to Indiana. I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Have you don't have kids, so you probably don't know.
Holy shit!
You know what trunk or treat it was?
Yeah.
I don't understand that at all either.
It's like a church thing,
Yeah, I mean,
it's
I
it's like a closed off group can do.
Yeah,
their
I
own
get it, but
Halloween thing.
you could kind of, you could
It's
just
just the
kind of
whole
have a
thing
whole
with-
bunch of pedophiles set up a trunk or treat,
He did say it was a church thing.
at a church thing. Oh, well, that's
It's
the
not a Catholic
or a
church.
neighborhood thing, or other fraternal order. Yeah.
But it's the whole thing about kids and stay away from stranger cars and but there's a trunk full of candy. That's okay. On
Go to
Halloween.
that one. It's
So,
on one day a year.
It just
you can
seems
go
bizarre
get
to me
candy
that-
out of that guy's
Right.
trunk.
Yeah.
Of course, you're going door to door to strangers' houses and getting candy. I guess that's just
True. Yeah, it's always strange.
What's up next?
One more Anchorage for
Cha-ching.
our show, and
is that a
we're gonna do
Wolfhouse
that.
beer? Is that what it says?
No,
Wolf Child.
It is a wolf child, though. That's why I grabbed it out, because I thought it called to me as the Wolfoose boys were on. So
Yeah.
this one is I think it's another. This is a double India Pale Ale.
The doodle.
So it's an 8.4 percenter.
The double.
DDH? Oh, no, it's just a double.
Just a double.
I'm just gonna pass it around this time because last time I tried to pour out beers, I fucked it all up. Or I'll just let Brendan do it. So I've already got. Now I have to wash the tablecloth, and hopefully it survives the wash.
They need like an adult Halloween so we can just go around and people just hand out beverages to the adults.
They do it at the zoo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
so
zoo?
yeah.
Or tacos.
Ooh.
It's
Oh.
like
Both.
trick or treat. Here's tacos.
Here's your tacos
Hey,
and
Here's tacos and a
Dos
beer.
Equis.
There you go.
Vagina.
Okay, well that works too, I guess.
It's just
Not-
handing it out.
Not that kind of taco, but whatever.
Wow.
He said vagina. I'm like, all right.
Sorry,
what are
but
we doing?
JJ.
Okay, yes. Are we good? We're not going
Clean
back
up.
into that conversation.
Vajazzling.
We are not vajazzling. We're not. We're
No.
not. We're
No.
not dropping down into the
No.
vajazzling
No,
conversation,
we'll
are we?
keep that for the return of
Okay,
Donnie.
You know what
Yeah.
vajazzling was, right?
You just said
Bedazzled
we're not getting into
vaginas?
that. Then you asked, no, just don't even answer
Had
that.
to double check.
Next.
Thank you.
Is that where they do something with their pubes or something?
We can't get away
like
from
an
it.
arrow or a heart or something.
Jaron sounds like me last week when I was just like, what?
Where they put rhinestones.
Yeah.
Where the okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. Here you go.
I know what
Blaine Campbell
bedazzling
again
is,
all
yeah.
night when I get home.
I need an
Hey,
explanation.
tell me more. I'm definitely not interested. But like, tell me more.
Sounds disgusting. What? What do they do?
Can you turn my headphones a little bit?
I think I have.
Wait.
Do you have a picture?
Do you like open it up and there's John Stones?
I
in
just
there?
wanted
to, that was my question. Yeah.
It's like spelunking for jewels. I think I just found the name of your next beer. Spelunker.
Spelunker.
Jewel Spelunker.
Sounds like a hidden Mario level.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, to the beer, I feel like it smells a lot more malty. It almost smells a little rye-ish.
Read it.
That's,
You've got the can.
That is
Although it's
definitely maltier.
might be harder for you with. Well, it's a black and white can. You're colorblind. It should be fine.
Yeah, great.
I always find it. It's a nice brown color. No, it's not. It's gray.
Yeah, I like this one better than the last one.
Yeah, I think this has got more
Well,
depth.
it's a double. This is a double. It's an 8.4%er, so it's
I
going to
don't
have a little more
see-
heft to it.
There's
Yeah,
nothing
I like
about.
that. I realized I
nothing
like
on
that.
here.
Yeah.
Doesn't even tell. Yeah, there's nothing on here. Just a double IPA. It
Just
doesn't
and
say-
some artwork. Just that and some artwork.
Awesome artwork.
Definitely a lot more malt to this one. than the
Yeah.
other
Oh
one.
yeah.
Um,
I don't see. There's nothing about the beer on here.
Alrighty.
It's
Well,
an Anchorage
I'll
beer.
look that up. So
It's a wolf child.
This one has a little more boil hop. I feel like the bitterness hop
you think?
I just think it
than
comes
usual.
together
Yeah, most
better.
of a lot of the Anchorage I've had, they dry hop a lot heavier than the boil hop, and this one kind of they just kept it more.
So the
simple.
from your saying the dry hop gives it is the dry hop give it the nose and the boil hop gives it the bitter.
yes,
Okay.
Yep. There you go.
All right. For those around, I want
That's
to
what I
make
was gonna
sure.
Yeah, thanks.
And even
That
I-
really-
and even
It's
I'm-
another word you have to
I'm-
memorize
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
Boil hop.
I'm much more novice on just even the actual brewing of the beer because Brennan and Jordan, they did a lot of that in the original recipes. I was just there I would basically just sit there
Keep
and
us on
watch
track.
watch the temperature on the damn
Didn't
thing.
boil
You go,
over.
turn it down, shit. Because you're boiling with propane, and the moment all of a sudden we're doing boil in bag, and the moment you lift the bag up, all of a sudden the temperature spikes 60 degrees because nothing's been circulating around, and or it drops 30 degrees or something. You're like, holy
So
shit,
we
I
had
turned
fun,
it up.
and Pat sat in front of them.
Yeah, I'm sitting there being Mr. OCD guy going, God damn it.
It's great.
And they're like,
I
and I'm
love
like,
brewing beer back
how long
then.
does this have to go on? 60 minutes? I'm like, it's
Till-
60 minutes.
Till Pat says,
Shit it.
No, this one's good. I like this one.
yeah, definitely more complexity, and this is the an Anchorage brewery.
Well-rounded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Depth.
I definitely want to know
Yeah, a lot more to it.
what hops are in there because
It is kind of interesting. It's almost earthier.
there's a yeah.
Well, that high ABV gives it a little more heft, obviously.
Yeah, you get a little sweetness out of it. You're gonna get
a little
the
more sweet.
but
I don't get a lot of nose to it, though. Do you? I got more nose on the other one.
I did too.
And
but
a whole lot more dry hop
yeah,
than this one does. Yeah, it feels like a lot less dry hop. Or if they
a little sweetness, more biscuity.
Well, it's kind of
and-
interesting because like a lot of the double IPAs, I feel like they're either really piney or they're really citrusy, and this
Yeah.
is kind of in the middle
yeah,
of those.
yeah.
it's a good balance.
Yeah.
It's not like
I can't tell what hops it because
Yeah, I
there's
don't
no
know.
Yeah,
real
there-
tropical
because nothing really hits you. Yeah, there's
But
really
it's-
nothing. It's like
it's also
Yeah.
it's hazy. Is a Deepa supposed to be hazy like this?
they probably it's probably from the dry hop.
I bet they dry hopped it, but they all
But I mean, normally, I wasn't. I can't recall if should a double IPA be.
it doesn't look hazy to me.
Oh, shut up!
As he looks through the black can.
I can't wait till we come out with the with transparent aluminum.
So
and,
I think the
and then we just get
definition-
see-through fucking see-through cans, and you can just see it right
Well, you
there.
can't do that.
Why not?
Your beer would be shit.
Why would
be
your
pretty
beer be
bad.
shit? Don't leave it in the sun.
You can't have it.
And it's
Well, it's like
metal.
any
The
light.
light really. I don't know.
Transparent.
Sorry, you were saying,
Hey.
Jaron.
I don't know. I just think the definition of a double IPA just means it's double the booze and also
Yeah.
double the dry or the boil hop.
Probably everything.
Really,
I don't know. There's not
I don't
really
know.
there's not really a full definition. I feel like it's usually alcohol related.
yeah.
Yeah, you get more of the sugars and more of the
No.
alcohol. And
But I still
I don't
thought
know. It's
that-
good. Usually for an
it's
IPA, I
not
think-
listed as a hazy IPA though. So
I
it's
think you
very
get
cloudy.
less of
It's not-
the
it's not
bitter
been brightened
hopness
up
out
at
of it. When
all.
it gets to double and triple, it gets to me more balanced because you start to get out some of that the real dry hoppy up front.
Yep.
And it kind of becomes a little more balanced. You get the dryness in the back end, but
Definitely on the citrus side, but it's not super bitter citrus
no,
on the taste. The nose again, I'm not getting a lot of nose.
no, there was a lot more in the other
reading
one.
some reviews are like, oh, you get a nice citrus nose or pineapple nose, and I'm like,
Well, that's people's default every time.
I feel like I'm kind of getting more of the umami-ish, mushroomy flavor.
There's like an earthiness to
with,
it.
and then it kind of goes into pine, and then you kind of get that citrus at the end.
Yeah,
It kind of
do
just
you recognize,
gradually
Chris,
goes into
anything
that.
unique from the novice palate?
I thought it was a little citrusy, and then it just goes to what I've always just understood a strong hops flavor.
Yeah.
On the back end of that.
Yeah.
I feel like
So-
most people that refer to hops nowadays is that kind of more bitter,
The bitter
flavor.
dryness.
Yes, that bitter dryness.
Yeah, the bitter dryness. Yep.
Which is,
Because that's
what they
where
do.
really the
That's what they do.
IPAs started.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, when I first had, I didn't. Well, we talk about it all the time, but not like an IPA. It's because I took everything as an IPA as being that piney and that there's
Sierra
only
Nevada.
those
Yeah.
few hops that are
Bitter.
out there, and I didn't think I
Yeah,
don't like IPAs.
Yeah, yeah. Let
You
me
know.
let me put more hops in weight than I have actual grain bill in this, just to fuck y'all up.
But
I'm
in
gonna put 40 pounds of hops in the boil.
Our hops now have been expanded
Which
so
is
much. But
so
American
much
hops
better.
are
The-
just
the-
so outrageous.
yeah.
I mean,
so many
there's-
hybrids.
Because all we
Yeah.
had before was the like 5 basic hops,
Yeah.
and then you had
You had pine
and then
and
the,
real
and then the
piney.
yeast,
Pine
then
and
yeast.
citrus.
pine and super piney and such. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
I mean, that was that was
That was
it.
it.
That was all you. So
I feel like it's those same guys that are in that industry that are in the weed industry right now too, with the 9,000 different, because they're technically in the
They're
same
cousins.
family.
yeah.
So those guys are cross-pollinating this shit like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty soon it's going to be super purple kush, donkey punch.
Donkey.
Donkey punch.
They have ones that smell and taste like blue cheese,
Yeah.
citrus,
hops or weed?
pine, the weed.
Oh,
Yeah.
weed that smells like blue cheese.
It's
Limburger?
literally
Oh,
called
yeah.
blue
Oh,
cheese.
yeah.
Usually
my gosh.
this style.
Yeah.
That-
The
they're getting
unintended
crazy.
upside to prohibition.
No thanks. I don't want anything. No. Although I'm still mad that we got April fooled by Crawfordsville.
Jimmie.
Yeah, by Backstep
Backstep.
Brewing. Last April Fools they put out, and man, they sold it hardcore that it was real. They did a Limburger infused fucking beer, and they sold and then put Limburger on the rim, and we're serving it like that. And they sold that thing like it was real, and I had I got him on it, and he called, and they're like,
"No
oh
way."
yeah, and it wasn't until like 2 weeks later. They're like, dude, didn't you see the date on that? It was April Fool's Day.
Wait,
But he
that
sold
was
it.
fake?
Yes, the
fake.
Limburger. Yes.
You guys were telling us all
Uh-huh.
about
Yeah.
it, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was fake.
We got snowed by it too. The whole
You were
Limburger.
telling us all about
I
it.
was
like,
we're
that
gonna
would
go
be
get
wild.
some. God damn it, yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Nope,
my
it was-
gosh.
we all got completely snowed by the Limburger cheese.
was like our
fucking
second
And
thing.
I didn't take
episode.
any of the April. I mean, I didn't see it on April 1st. It was. I mean,
I
that
saw
didn't
it,
even come in.
and yeah, but he
None of it
he
even
kept it up
thought
for like
about
2 weeks, just selling
And,
it.
and it wasn't. We came back from that trip where we just had the kimchi too. So
Yeah, we're like, hell,
Made
fuck
sense.
it. Yeah, it made sense. It could.
Just have the
This is
kimchi
where we're
beer.
going.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, well, fuck yeah. If anybody can
Stinky
do it, I'm pretty
cheese.
sure Josh can do it.
Yeah.
Oh my
so, yeah, no, they completely and totally fucking got us.
I would try it.
I feel like they need to try it, though, still.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it.
You were literally telling us about it like it was real. I remember.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
You
We
remember
thought
Jimmy?
it was.
It was real.
Yeah.
We thought it was.
It was real
In their
to us.
minds.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
No,
I
it's
felt
just
bad
sadness.
about that one. Now,
Just
Then we
sadness.
we just cried for a couple days afterwards.
Now he's got to do
Kind of just makes me mad.
it. Yeah.
Right? You look.
I didn't even have anything to do with it. I'm
you
just
look
still
up-
mad.
You look upset about
I
it.
feel
You're
pretty
like,
duped.
"Oh."
Come on. Yeah,
I did. I wanted it. No,
How do you
like-
think we feel? We sold it to you guys too. We're like,
Yeah, they
fuck,
probably
man.
sold that for
Oh,
a
you
good
talked it
amount
up
of
big
money.
time.
Oh yeah. So
Like,
yeah.
boys, you're gonna have some of this.
Yeah, so I now have a warning on April Fool's Day to pop up and say, hey, it's April Fool's Day. Don't listen to anything anybody says.
I just don't listen to Jimmie. That's
Well, that too.
like
Yeah, don't listen to Jimmie Boros from Backstep. Not on April Fool's Day at least. All right.
Good
Well, I still like it. I think it's a good beer.
yeah, great ending. I think that was great beer. Yeah, I
Good
think
Wolf
Anchorage
Child
was good.
beer, and
I think it was pretty balanced.
Yeah.
No complaints.
yeah, this was
Yeah.
we didn't really go extreme on this one. Just some
Yeah.
nice, just standard
Well, we did
IPAs
some
and
bold stuff
lagers.
last
and,
time. So yeah.
oh yeah, we did a last show of a whole bunch of heavy or odd stuff from both ends of the spectrum. This was a nice, easy one, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Pardon me for my soapbox and anger on some of the prohibition stuff,
No, need-
but
need that.
No, fuck the man.
yeah, sometimes it does. Sometimes it gets frustrating.
Stick it to him.
And that's what I blame Brendan for, making me go down the prohibition rabbit hole a little deeper.
It was great. I didn't think you were going to go down that far, but
Yeah, I'm trying. you know, brick sandwiches and, you know, fucking temperance movements and, you know. What the hell? There was one more thing. Damn it.
Here we go.
No, well, because I also looked up, you know, things from, you know, today.
Isn't that when the Tommy gun got real famous too during Prohibition?
The what?
The Tommy gun.
That
was the one that got really famous because it was
September 28th is the birth of Marshall Field III, who was one of the dickholes and leaders of the Association Against Prohibition Amendment.
Francis too, the woman.
Francis Willard.
Francis Willard. There you go.
Birth of well-known temperance activist.
Marshall Field from the department store in Chicago.
Marshall Field III. I don't know.
That was the second.
I thought it was his son.
I don't know.
Marshall
He was born in 1893, but he became a leader in the Association Against the Prohibition Amendment.
Wait, but he's against the prohibition, right?
Yeah, no, it sounds backwards from what it is.
Oh.
So yeah, but the Frances Willard is the big one because she was one of those.
She took over the woman with the WKKK too. Well, that was
here
Luna
in Wesley Evans was the head of the prohibitionist KKK, but that was a couple days ago. Was when he was born, and the 30th is the Flying Squadron of America was an assemblage of temperate speakers and singers. So there was a big bunch of. They didn't actually fucking fly anywhere either. They just took trains and buses. But, you know, there were all these shows and these groups that were just out to, you know, kill everybody's fucking fun.
Bunch of fun suckers.
You know, and mainly against basically the immigrant population of the time, the Italians and the Irish, who were viewed as, you know, drunks and
But what if it was fun for them?
Most of them still drink at home.
Sucking the fun from other people is fun for somebody.
It is.
Wasn't Prohibition like the drunkest time in America?
It did become
like per capita.
Yeah,
after a few years, I think it came
brought
right
more
back to
people
normal.
out.
I think it was.
It brought more. I mean, it got women drinking, and it brought more people out drinking.
Well, because you're breaking rules, you know, and that's cool.
It's just like how the war on drugs. Like the more the drugs are outlawed, the more people do them.
Right.
Weirdly.
Yeah. Now there is, so that's where my thing gets a little weird, and I'm not sure ever how to reconcile some of the two. I do believe in some of the drugs need to be you know, like Oxycontin. That shit's fucking that's heroin.
That's legal,
and that's dangerous heroin. You know, it's and things like heroin and some of the harder ones that are processed meth, heroin, the processed drugs. I don't know. I still have a thing against them for some reason, and I don't think those should be legal and sold at 7-Eleven. You know, I honestly don't think weed should be sold.
I would agree with that.
But I don't. But is it, there comes the hypocrisy that I'm not sure how to.
I'm
saying one
cross the
thing's
line of
good
being illegal or maybe
You know what I mean? At what point do you judge the strength of it's these drugs are bad, but these aren't. So now am I in the same boat as some of the temperance people that weed was bad and you know?
I think it's the decriminalization kind of a thing that probably is more important.
Is an addict a criminal?
Not necessarily making it illegal or legal, but maybe just.
I mean, the worst thing right now is prescription drugs. But as long as you have that bottle in your car and it has your name on it, you're good to go. And that's, I mean, so it's
but that's what I'm saying.
If it's not, you could go to jail for up to a year.
Right. But that's where I'm saying. I mean, is
for something.
I may be
you're not
just as that person was from the temperance movement of they thought the wine was okay, but the hard liquor was bad, and I'm like, so am I one of them as well? Because I'm on the fence about the kind of drug that I believe,
I don't think it should be legal. Anything in your own home, you have a right to do and destroy yourself if that's what you want to do. You just can't bring that. You can't affect anybody else.
Right, but some of those drugs, I think some of those drugs make you lose your mind and you go out and affect someone else. Like weed.
Well,
I've never seen a lot of people go on weed and just start tearing around the fucking neighborhood unless there's like some angel dust on that fucking weed.
Well, isn't it sort of like nuclear weapons? We're all fine with conventional artillery, and then suddenly we're like, oh wait, this is a weapon we could actually annihilate all of humanity. We all
nobody can have it except
everybody
for
taps the brakes, and I feel like fentanyl, we've arrived, with synthetic heroin, we've arrived at this place where we got fentanyl, where one granule can kill, somebody who's not using it. So again, we have to tap the brakes because it's just getting driven to an extreme.
Right. And I guess my thing is, I'm trying to, you know, I know I get angry about some of the temperance people in those times because legislative morality. But then I'm also in the back of my mind going, well, maybe I need to think better. Maybe they were in that same boat of, at that time, rum and whiskey were the heroin of the day. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so they were just trying to. So I'm trying to not be totally hateful towards them, and I'm trying to understand some of the things from their side. But when you read into a bunch of it, it's socioeconomic bullshit. Yeah. It had nothing to do with that. It was big muckety mucks trying to regulate.
And it was a good old fashioned witch hunt, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, though, back then, the rich were rich because they were usually educated a lot more than the other people. And but nowadays, if you compare it to nowadays, right, like everybody has a computer in their hands nowadays.
Right.
So regardless if maybe you're intelligent, you could easily look up what are the side effects of heroin or what are the side effects of even alcohol. Right. Where back then, nobody knew that stuff.
Right.
Nobody was thinking about that stuff.
It was
easy
to rule by propaganda. If
right.
you had the ability
they
to
probably had the best
propaganda
interest in mind, even though, you know, you're trying to control something that maybe shouldn't have been controlled.
And that's what I'm trying to think better of some of them of, okay, maybe they weren't evil. They were just thinking in the same way, again, like whiskey was the heroin of their time because maybe it wasn't heroin back then, but there probably was.
But of course, you had the KKK who was.
Well, yeah,
against
You don't get a lot. You don't get
their
a lot
best
of,
interest in mind.
You don't get a lot of points on my side for having the KKK on your side.
Well, that's what I mean. So it's all.
But that's where the bullshit comes in. What I'm saying, it's a socioeconomic immigration policies and things like that.
Had more with controlling than anything else.
Whereas, like nowadays, you're not gonna be able to stop people from doing something, right? Those people can make decisions now based off of information they could easily look up on their phones now. Sure. So it's like, do you really want to control it and make it and try and enforce all these, throw them all in prisons and stuff like that?
We've seen
at this point in our life, like these people are going to make that decision. They know what is coming from. They can look at a picture of a person that was on meth for 2 or 3 years and be like, do I want to look like that?
No.
But again, it still goes back to
if they still
even
choose
back
yes.
then, it wasn't illegal to drink. It was about controlling who was drinking and who was drinking. And it was about the poor community was the ones going to jail. For drinking, not the people.
And we've seen how that worked. All the money put into the fight, and all the money put into the prisons, and all the people going to prison. And then eventually you had to repeal it, and then a bunch of people got their sentences commuted for doing stuff that shouldn't have ever been, you know. And same thing with like the weed and stuff. You know, there's all kinds of stuff. All the petty, stupid, you know, an ounce of frickin', you know, weed gets you in jail for 10 fucking years, you know, and then you become a criminal more because you've had to stay alive. So
you can't vote.
Yeah, we can't. You can't. Again, not learning the lesson from the first time.
There's a weird balance because obviously most law, well, I should say most, but a lot of laws they're usually for a good purpose.
It should be meant to protect.
Right, but then is it controlling?
Not
you know,
penalize.
That's where the line is, right? Is where does it come?
Protection versus
so
penalize.
Where it's versus
You know,
that's even what prohibition really was.
But we all grew up on cowboy films and Wild West.
Yep.
The outlaws. Everybody, we idolize outlaws.
Absolutely.
And Americans are famous for being told what to do and saying,
you look on Facebook.
Good luck making me do that.
Yeah, Sopranos.
Now I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You get on Facebook, you see someone put a peaceful post about, we should, love one another. And, they get, 50 likes, and someone says, you should fucking blow the motherfuckers up. 3,000. Yeah, you should be president. That's scary, and that is where we are at. I mean, that's the truth.
The overreaction to it's just.
I mean, you see that even with vaccines, where people are like, I'm not getting it, almost. Partly because people are saying to get it.
That's because everything's politicized.
Like, I'll do whatever I want to do.
Listen,
I don't want to get it.
I'm a contrarian. I totally understand why. I've had that reaction my whole life. Just like my dad was military growing up. I was whatever he said.
That would be my brother's. Yeah, my brother was
opposite,
that one. I said yes, sir, because I saw my brother get his ass beat. So. So I knew better on that one, but I can understand the contrarian attitude. Fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want. And then you go do it anyways. You just.
But that's why it's important to have an articulated argument to persuade people. Persuade. You have a conversation.
I don't even have to persuade them. I just like people to have some articulate arguments that don't end in just straight up name calling or, people willing to listen to another side, which is what I like to do, which is kind of what I was trying to explain of trying to think about that 1920s temperance person. Maybe they had a good heart and mind on some of them. Some of them did. Some of them you could tell they weren't. But
you can't look at it purely through 21st century eyes.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to make sure. I'm trying to be better and listen. I want to see that other side and see if there's some semblance of morality there, and it's not just a dumb fucker.
or a
asshole,
unfortunately,
power hungry despot, or an ignorant dipshit. I miss being able to have this kind of conversation where you might have a different viewpoint, but nobody's really getting angry about my viewpoint or yours, but we're still just conversing. It's not like get the fuck out of my garage.
Well, how many times have we even? Somebody said, I don't really like this beer, and then the other this person right next to us was like, I actually do.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. That's what we like.
The simplest form of looking at it is
I feel like
food and beer, but
I feel like Brandon and Logan were on the same wavelength, and you and I were like, so you know what I mean? It was like both of them were like, no, this is awful, or you and me are like, it's pretty good. I like that.
He said you guys have better palates than us.
I can't wait till we have one of these discussions about a hams. That's gonna be great.
Well, we gotta find hams.
We will do.
We will bring ham.
I'm gonna bring a dirty 30.
Yes, let's do it.
I don't think we need 30 of them, but okay.
Just only size.
Give me one. No.
We need to do a ham.
We've done that before.
Oh,
We pull.
Those nights are fun.
We do those. So So we'll call it. We ran a little long. We want to thank Wolfoose for staying late. I'm sure they're in trouble now. Chris,
the wife's
whatever. Chris, thank you for stopping by again.
Certainly, thank you
all
for
our
having me.
new are some of our regular guests that we love having on the program because the conversation is good and the beer knowledge is adequate.
Adequate's the best way to put it. It's always great to be here, guys. Thank you again.
Yeah,
thanks for
thanks for having me.
Cheers.
I can feel the true glare